Okay, she is writing something. Why is she writing something? I want to know.
She's using the kind of magic that relies on pictograms. You, my friend, are screwed.
Oh, maybe. However, if every witty reply she has for me today takes like 5 minutes to draw, it might not really be that beneficial overall. Well, and while we are waiting for her to finish whatever she is doing, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. A&Y Keyframe, what about? I killed her phone.
That was an amazing start.
This worked out well.
Oh, hi.
As we need to go on.
A&Y and Keyframe wonder about random dribble.
Exactly. A&Y and the disembodied head of Keyframe, but you turned it better already again.
Different shoulders.
Yeah. But yeah, a moment ago it was like you basically did the who was this? Which guest was this? This was Puffin, wasn't it? Puffin who turned into a head every now and then. But yeah, welcome to the AWKWARDCast. And today with us, restricted to her ponyfied self, with us nowadays only Scribbler, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, it's always just been Scribbler, but I've had various names as I've gone along.
What happened to the OBAB?
It was, to be honest, I've always been Scribbler in like all fandoms and all places. But when I first joined LiveJournal back in the dim and distant past of 2004, Scribbler was taken, so I became OBAB Scribbler, and it just kind of stuck. But it wasn't really my name.
Okay.
Scribbler was my name.
Okay, because I never thought about it or noticed that the OBAB is nowhere in your social media, but or at least not. Oh no, it's in the Twitter tagline, but not in the actual name. Whatever. But I noticed it when I'm making the promo. But yeah, for people who are not only wondering about why your names sometimes include OBAB and why it doesn't, please tell us, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
They shouldn't care about me in the slightest, to be perfectly honest, but I am a VA, fanfic reader, fanfic author, and general know-it-all busybody of the fandom.
Which fandom would this be, I have to ask, since this is officially a pony news.
Oh, it is...
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, don't say that. I have actually written Sonic the Hedgehog stuff.
Oh, okay, wait, I need to check those links now. This is just fanfiction. Oh, there is a fanfiction.net link. Can I find something Sonic in this short time? Please continue talking.
Find plenty of Sonic stuff in there. I also have Sonic stuff on my literal YouTube channel.
Damn it!
Like I was full out into Sonic Sat AM and the Archie comics.
Oh, I did not.
Like
know
I was niche Sonic. I was never mainstream Sonic. I was niche. I still, however, was completely repulsed by the Sonic movie.
Oh.
Meow.
Wait, is this out already? Damn it!
No, just the promos.
The trailer that was so bad they pushed back the release date so they can redo Sonic.
Yes.
Yes.
The navigation on this page is horrible. I have no idea. This is just your profile page. Where are the fucking stories?
You know.
Yeah, you were just on them.
Oh wait, those are.
Those are the stories.
Oh, this basically looks like comments in a comment section and not like a list. Wow, the UX on this page is horrible. Anyways, let's
just bring up my shame to everybody. There's like 500-ish stories on that.
Next week, because then I don't have to deal with that amount of off the railing.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Next week, without me, because I will be smelling some mountain air. This is a saying. This sounds really weird in English. In German, you say frische Bergluft.
He's gonna be traveling.
Yes.
And then it's Key show with me and Kichi. Stay tuned. Anyway, Scribbler, what's been going on in your life?
Well, you can see from the video that I have put out today, one of the things that's going on recently is BronyCon is upon us. The final BronyCon. And, sorry, somebody just came in the room. Final BronyCon's coming. I'm going to be a community guest there, and I put out the video today. I'm still deep into the fucktastic magnificence that is Aprilverse is my absolute favourite project to work on, but we're like 3 episodes into 6 episodes and it's way past April. And various other different things. Like, I've just got so much shit going on. There's so much stuff I'm working on at any given moment.
So I take it the remaining 2 weeks, or rather 1.5, given that it starts already early in the week, will be pretty exciting for you. I get it. Take it.
Mm-hmm. I am so happy.
Wait,
it's not like I'm still writing panels or anything.
Can I find a little PNG of a drop that I can put on your Sona and let it slowly move down?
Can it be
more than just one?
A slightly, mostly transparent of panic mode or flames. Actually, her with the coffee cup is like the dog in the middle of the room with the fire. Being like, this is fine.
This is fine.
Wait. Let her at least.
What does? Yeah, she is feeling.
Oh no! Oh, where are the?
You know.
They're kind of in the wrong direction.
Max,
I'm British. We do everything slightly backwards to you.
You know, there's a thing with most stream layout stuff where you can lock the layers. So things like this doesn't happen where you try to move things.
But the problem is, first of all, I'm not sure if XSplit actually has lock layer because XSplit is not good.
And use OBS.
That's also not good. Second,
I use it. Anyways, enough about our streaming software. So besides BronyCon, what have you been? We're talking about Aprilverse.
Yeah, we've got a panel. It's a 21 plus panel. It's the first 21 plus panel I've ever done.
Oh my!
It's half written at the moment. There is a Discord server that's just for people who are in the Aprilverse panel. DeWilstonator's in it.
I believe Wooten is.
Yeah, Wooten is.
I saw him tweet about it.
He is somewhat of the Deadpool of this entire endeavor. But there's various different things going on in that. And it's going to be an interactive thing. So it's like a Mad Libs style fanfic.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And considering it's 21 plus, I'm expecting at least one penis to appear.
I mean,
metaphorically speaking.
You guys got a 21 plus panel. Mine's at 1 a.m. and I have to still keep it for general audiences.
Then again,
the fuck?
If nobody is checking and there are no small children in the audience, will you break the rules? Will you be a wild rebel?
Okay, I'm just gonna say, I may just break the rules by complete accident. Y'all have heard me talk. Fuck is a conjunction for me. Like, I am a mumbly Yankee New Yorker where curse words are just the same as the word the. So,
I knew New Yorkers were just like my people.
I've had people point out that when I talk, I don't use half the time. I say fuck or something instead, or shit. Like.
No wonder you and Lost get on so well.
Probably. But yeah, anything else going on in your life, Scribs? Any highlights or crazy adventures?
Oh, God, no, I'm an incredibly boring person. God, no, I live in, like, the arse end of nowhere. If the world was going to have an enema, they would put the tube where I live, I swear.
That is such a... This is why you're the writer.
I am the writer who just makes fart, dick, and bum jokes, yeah. I've said before, if you wanted somebody to bring the tone up in here and you wanted a British person, you should have gone for Ninja again, not me.
Ninja is drunk half the times we invite him here.
And yet, still more articulate than I can be.
He occasionally puts on a top hat when he is drunk, that is true.
I need a picture of that. Is he going to BronyCon?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I shall be having pictures with him then. Yeah.
He got
I've got so many people on my bucket list.
Financed by friendship.
Financed by French. I love it.
If that's all you. What about you, Max? Has anything exciting been going on in the life of Max?
Probably. Let's see if I can actually remember anything. The good thing is I had a phone call with my mom earlier and talked about my week, so I just need to remember like half an hour or an hour back. This is always helping with my brain.
Cheat.
So there's packing that I do because, well, once again, I will be in the US a little bit earlier and then continue traveling the United States towards Baltimore in a bit over a week. I don't know. I guess something like that. So yeah, this is happening. Then I had the. Oh, I still cannot remember. What is the term of it? When you have a talk with your boss, but it's a regular scheduled one.
A meeting?
Yeah, an appointment.
Yeah, but particular about the fact that he is your performance review. That's the word.
A shiver just went down my spine at those words.
And that's exactly the thing. Though for most people, it's like a reason to be like, oh shit, performance review is upcoming. So on the morning, on the way to grab our coffee as we do every morning, I turned to my boss Bart like, because we have the appointment in the afternoon, like, this is going as every time, isn't it? Me being super self-critical and you just praising me, and he's like, yeah, should we skip it? We still sat down and did it. I was like, it was like, I mean, we went through the sheet we got from HR everything and very systematically, but it still ended up like him just being very positive about me and my performance to a point where it became uncomfortable, and I started to give compliments back simply to kind of even it out, even though it was my performance review.
So bad at taking compliments.
Yeah, but it's also not normally that the performance review is just so like, you're doing good, man. I like what you're doing. Team is great. Sorry?
Lucky bugger.
Just take it. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Wow, this is the book. This goes on the list of, God, I hate that I can't gain weight onto the things of...
Oh, I started gaining weight. I'm actually on a diet.
Good.
You... Okay.
Welcome to the normal world.
I mean, here's the thing. So when I was wearing something, I already got rid of it within a week. But when I had a very tight belt, it did a little bit of this bulgy thing, and well,
I've seen more meat on a butcher's pencil than you. Seriously, your entire body is the width of one of my legs.
I mean, I have gotten
You by just sitting on you.
I mean, I have once in the past gotten a very interesting conversation with the girlfriend of my roommate. My roommate, not a person I would call fat or anything, but a little bit more on the comfortable, chubby side. And she was, and for some reason we were hanging out too much, so I and her at some point talked about like but totally us hooking up or whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, you're too thin. I like a little bit of a cushion." And I'm like, "Okay."
Aww.
like brutally.
We're not saying you're a bone. We're just saying don't feel that bad about if you have a little bit of meat on your bones.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
You have said meat on your bones.
Anyway, so those were the highlights of my week. Keyframe, you actually are in the middle of the action.
Yeah, you're at TrotCon right now, aren't you?
Oh yeah, do you want to know the best thing? The most interesting part about TrotCon was getting here.
Oh, I saw you post in chat that you were having troubles at the airport.
Oh yeah, no, okay, here's the thing. I'm not insulting TrotCon. It's just a thing of, because of what happened before I came here, when I leave the vendor hall at night, because the hall closes at 7, I get up, I pack up my backpack, go into the elevator, into the room, see that Lux or our friend Vinny is in here, and then I'm passed out till about midnight when I wake up needing food. So I've slept at this con more than I think I sleep at home.
SleepCon.
SleepsCon.
Yeah.
But I do have stories. So welcome to another adventure of Key Talks About Cons.
Yay!
So maybe as a precursor,
Story time.
how long does one usually travel from LA to wherever TrotCon is?
LA to Ohio should have been, let's see, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, just for context, but please.
From all the way on the West Coast to the farther part of the Midwest, so 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, it's completely unrelated. I just was curious about it.
Shut up, Denim. Key's getting sleep. Yeah, I see you. Oh my God! Wait, Key slept. Question: What?
Panda!
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
get you. What do you mean, Panda?
Yeah. Anyways, so because there's a time zone difference, because we're in Eastern Standard Time here in Ohio, Pacific Standard Time over in California, 3-hour difference. So if you're traveling forward in time, basically, you usually have to leave pretty early on the West Coast to get to a decent time on the East Coast. Blah blah. So I left at 12:59 a.m. on Thursday. Because in theory, I would have been here, I forgot, maybe 1 p.m. or something, 2 p.m. Because I had a connection. So obviously this was going to be longer traveling. We're flying to get to Chicago. We didn't get to Chicago. They diverted us to Indianapolis, Indiana, my favorite place in the world. And we were like, and the captain was like, well, we're diverting to Indianapolis, folks. There's currently storms and unfortunate weather conditions going on in Chicago. Oh, this can't be that bad. It's probably just a roving storm. We were on that plane on the tarmac for 2 hours until they were like, yeah, we're kicking you off the plane.
Lovely.
Yeah, and so they kicked us off the plane, basically gave us a little card that had a number being like, handle this yourselves. And made us reclaim our bags, go through security. I'm angry, sitting in the middle of this grill in Indy with this sweet waitress who's like, are you okay, honey? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm stuck in Indiana. No one's happy here. And she gave me free drinks. So
I mean, it was that upshot.
But then we were stuck in Indy. I was stuck in Indy for like 6 hours till we finally flew again to Chicago. Chicago airport is one of the saddest places in the world, and if you've never been, then good for you. It's a prison cell with airplanes. Like, nothing is happy about it. Everything is like gray metal, looking like an actual prison cell. Everyone hates each other. It's Chicago. But they rebooked us twice because I got off the plane and they booked me for a flight that would have been at 5:30. And I thought I was going to have to fucking run to my gate because they left us on the tarmac for another hour in Chicago. And they were like, oh no, I got the notification saying my plane was delayed an hour. Cool. Get to my thing. Oh no, the plane's been gone for like 45 minutes.
Oh, bloody hell.
Then why? And I was like next to other people that also are going through the same situation as me. One person who was supposed to be on first class for that flight.
Oh boy.
That boy wasn't happy. And they were like, okay, so go to this flight's going over there at the other end of the airport. Okay, go to this other flight. And I was put on standby. So was first class man, who was very not happy because it was going to be, if you get in after standby, it would be on coach. Now, I was number 3 on standby when I first got on standby. Somehow I went down to number 9. Thank you, caste system of airplanes. But like, I was just sitting there looking. Flight departure 6:50. Flight departure 7:30. Flight departure 8:51. Are we leaving? And like, when? The only highlight was there was this person with this service dog, an off-duty service dog that was this perfect brown labradoodle
Oh.
named Gregory. And he was the cutest thing. He wanted pets. And if I stopped petting him, he would dig his head into my hand so I would continue petting.
Oh.
He was my service dog at this moment.
He could tell. He could tell that you
My
needed
Lord,
to
I
pet him.
needed it. And then we finally got on, and then Lux picked me up from the airport as I was sadly battling a gym at Pokemon Go because I was just like, I'm tired, I'm sad, here's Eevee. And then by the time I got to this hotel, it was 1 a.m. Right.
Local or LA time?
Local. However, I would count this as 24 hours of travel because this is still the next fucking day. Anyway, TrackCon itself's fine. It's a slower con because, well, this is the one right before BronyCon, all that shit. And I'm in front of an air conditioning vent, literally the ventilation system. So, and because I was on this airport, and if people remember last week, I was sick. I'm still sick. So
Oh, no.
I got a blanket that I bought at the airport when I was traveling, and Lux gave me another blanket, and I became the blanket gremlin for most of the vending. And everyone in the vendor hall was just kind of worried about me the entire time. They were like, "Do you need anything? We can go out and get you something." I'm like, let me sell my shit.
Behold!
I am, yes, there is a blanket gremlin. I kind of look like Simply Nailogical. But you know what? Selling went fine for being as slow as it was. And I went to the After Dark vendor hall last night because I was waiting for my post.
Oh my.
Whoa. I've never heard of an After Dark vendor hall.
I mean, I'm a furry. I heard of them frequently. But for bronies.
Yeah, there's one at Winnie. There was one at Winnie. There was where I accidentally bought a collar thinking it was a necklace.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I told that story. No one will ever see this collar. Or if they do, maybe they won't. Maybe my affirmation that it looks like a regular old choker necklace would be right, and they don't know that it was a collar. But the people that do know would know. Or furries. But Winnie had one, and this one has one. I'm guessing Ciderfest has one. But I went in. Y'all are nasty. Y'all are just nasty and mean Jesus. In the sense of some of this porn just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. I don't mind porn.
I love that that's the thing you're judging them on.
Look, I don't mind porn. I draw it. I bought it. Of my OCs, obviously. I don't buy normal porn. That's the internet. But you have the power to draw, the power to print, and the power to sell, and this is what you do. Because, you know, there was the normal stuff like Dockies and shit that had the weird coin purse vagina that they draw on horses, which I don't get why. They don't look good.
Because they have never seen a real one, of course.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't like the style where it's like.
No, I understand exactly what you mean.
Should I maybe put up some?
Color, it's like.
No, I think you're fine without putting up examples.
I just wanted to say, should I maybe put up
visual
aid to help your story?
No, point is, look up half of the feral brony porn where they're all still full on horses, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And then there was one table. Oh my gosh. Ever wanted to see Goatsy using dragon talons? Because I did. And if you don't know what Goatsy is, it's when a guy basically pulls open his ass. And it's with talons.
That would hurt.
Talons, and they don't look good. And then there were other fetishes that involved fluids, not the good ones. And I'm just like, people buy this. And then I wonder, why are people buying shit at my table? Oh yeah, because they're spending their money here. And you know what? This is one of the moments where I will take my dignity over the dollar. Thank you.
You see, when you started the story, I intended to make a joke at the end that you probably spent all your earnings from TrotCon in this room, but the further you went down with the story, I cannot even bring this joke anymore. This is just...
The Winnie City one had more tasteful things.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I don't want to kink shame, but...
Look, there's nothing
Literally
wrong.
in this case.
There's nothing wrong with these kinks. You can go on for Affinity and have your drop-down menus and favorite.
I guess in this context it would be Derby Borough or whatever the name is.
Or whatever. There's ponies on for Affinity. They can't.
Of course there are.
But point is, when I'm walking around in this vendor hall and I'm seeing people pull out their dollar bills in person, laying them down, grabbing said pictures with their filthy mitts and stuffing them in their bags, knowing exactly what they're going to be doing later.
Well, anything interesting else from your trip to TrotCon you want to share, or should we move on to media?
Story? I'm sorry, I'm practicing my stand-up routine. No. Really, no. Besides that, this con's been just working and then sleeping, because I sleep a lot at this con, and I'm
work, sleep, and then think about the duckies.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, but
I would recommend if it's possible in any way or form, steal the blanket from this hotel. Apparently, they work for you. She's considering.
I like how she's contemplating that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Shut up. It's not considering.
Yes, you are. We can see it in your face.
Over at the bed. No, I think it's less of the blankets from the hotel and more the massive macro sickness I got from a combination of airplanes and stomach viruses. Which, put an F in the chat for Key to pay respects. Please pray to God that I'm over this by BronyCon. Because I travel to BronyCon next week.
Oh, you don't need no con crud for BronyCon. It's 4 days long. 4 days of con crud.
I only have 2 fucking days still in America, but when I get home, because then I'm traveling over to this bastard down here.
It's true.
Euroferns. That when you get there.
So either I'm going to feel better and then just have a pleasant time all around. This was I was saving up my karmic retribution coupons for BronyCon onward. Or I start to think that I feel better, but in reality I'm patient 0. And up comes the BronyCon plague, which will then go airborne.
But then again,
go to Euroferns.
Yeah.
Euroferns plague.
Nah, but I don't really see too big of a problem with it. I mean, keep in mind, bronies are usually not social outside of the internet, so even if you infect everybody at BronyCon, it will barely spread out of there. Hey-yo!
Oh my goodness!
Anyways, before we piss off the audience we have at a majority.
Well, I think we're long past that point.
Oh no!
We've insulted their clopping habits. We've insulted their social skills.
Oh, Scribbler, you have not been here because I see a few new names in the chat. We have not been here for Keyframe. Literally insults the names of the viewers, but this is usually pre-show stuff.
Yeah, I knew I liked you.
I didn't get back to doing that one day, so thanks, Max.
Should we move on to media then?
Yeah, I really have nothing else to talk about unless you want me to talk about the weird-ass conversations I've overheard in TrotCon, including one that apparently there's going to be something happening at BronyCon involving plushies, and I don't want to go further into it, so let me get to my media.
Yeah, please do.
It'll be worse than the guy who made the anatomically correct plushie sparkle. Life size.
Well then, Keyframe, please do tell us how could Coraline have been more creepy?
Okay, so what I want to talk about is this channel that I've been starting to watch, and the 2 videos they have on their series, so I'm guessing that it's going to be a series, which is Blank Could Have Been More Creepier. And it's essentially talking about the differences between the original literary source and then the movie. And I really like this person's style. Like, people talking about stuff that's different from the adaptations is not new. I mean, the Dom is an example.
Dominic Noble now.
Yes.
The Dom. I'm gonna misname him.
I feel you. I will have problems adapting his new name as well.
To be fair, in my head, he's still the Dom, and I expect him to say it. Every time I watch one of his videos, I'm like, oh yeah, you renamed yourself.
Yeah, it's a surprise every video.
Mm-hmm.
No, she has this great style where she animates the visuals, and this old lady and someone's coming in the room.
There we go.
But no, yeah, she has, she draws the visuals and animates them when it comes to moments of like illustration. I think there's a later part where they talk about the differences between the door that leads to the other world in Coraline, between the tiny little kitty door that was in the original movie and the big one, and the difference between like the little paper mice and the actual like rats that were in Coraline's dream in the original book. And I really like this kind of series talking about how something could be creepier. And she has the full acknowledgement that these things being a little bit lighter does give these properties the ability to be shown on the big screen and go to a wider audience. And that is worth lightening up the substance a little bit. So that way it has that wider audience so people can retroactively go back and see what the original source is, which I think is a point that people don't point out the merit of, because as much as we would like a purist form of the things we read and like, is sometimes it's for the greater good, so we can have that ability for people, for it to be in the wider consciousness, so then people will see the source and then be like, oh, I want to see that interpretation where it is more true to the book. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of things. But I really like this person's style. I think they present themselves well. When they read parts of the book, I think that they have a little bit of a performer in them, which I think is really good, because sometimes when you have people reciting quotes and stuff on other channels, like, I'm just going to say this, Matt Pat, like when he has to recite stuff that's supposed to be creepy, he can't get past his Matt Pat voice, if you get what I mean.
The sarcasm. It is ingrained too deep.
Exactly. But, there's a genuine thing when she recites parts of this story when she's talking about the adaptations. And I really recommend it. I saw the thumbnail for the Tangled one in my recommended.
Yeah.
And like,
let me put this on watch later.
One of those things where the YouTube recommended list is just being weird. But no, it's actually good. So I recommend people to watch these. I haven't gotten into the rest of her channel yet, but these 2 videos I really like, and I hope she continues, because there's so many examples of lighter fare in the media that actually have way darker connotations. I hope she does one on Cinderella next, because that one is fucking sad. So,
the original story? Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
My grandmother was from Germany, and she used to tell us the original one as a bedtime story.
Y'all, look, man.
There's a reason I turned out the way I am.
German bedtime stories and German fairy tales are all very sad and bleak and depressing when you actually look at them. Didn't y'all come up with the bedtime story of the kid who sucked his thumb so much that they cut off his thumbs?
Oh yeah, the Daumenlutscher. What was the name? Struwwelpeter. The Struwwelpeter was the overall one, and the one who sucked his thumb was just one of the stories. But yeah, we had those beautiful pieces, I believe, from Wilhelm Busch. Then, what you're talking about, really, really disturbing German fairy tales. So I actually had...
You have the best. That's the thing. You have the most disturbing and the best ones.
Yeah, but the thing is, so I, as a small child, like pre-reading and shit, I had an actual tome of fairy tales, which I got bedtime stories read to me out of. It was an illustrated fairy book.
Ooh.
But with the very sketchy, non-color things. And I recall that there have been pages that I like to be like with my tome and just go through it. And I recall that there were pages that I always skipped because the images were too creepy for me.
This explains so much.
And here I thought me secretly watching Clockwork Orange when I was just in my early teens made me as I am.
No, that was just one domino in the series that started falling very early in your life.
Probably.
But my media, so.
Yeah. Scribbler, did you bring us a media?
I can do. I have so much that I'm generally watching. I've gotten really into lately something called Ask a Mortician. I don't know if you've heard of her. I'll bring up her channel because she does so many really, really good videos. And it's about death normalization. Mm-hmm. And the idea that in the West, we do have this psychological... Oh, yep, she has... I was going to just give you... This is her, yes. And there's one in particular that I got into, which was all about the Donner landings of an American settlement in the early days, pre-Civil War.
Salem.
It was not Salem, Donner, the Donner camp, where they ended up eating each other because they didn't listen. Right.
The Donner Party, what really happened?
That's the one. That is the one. And I've just found her works really fascinating recently. Like, I'm leaving them on while I'm working because I'm learning so much from it. And I've got to admit, I'm one of those people who I'm really sad sack. I love learning in my spare time. Yeah. So I love putting on like documentaries and things. And this goes into historical instances of strange deaths and strange historical absences of death and finding out what happened to these people. And the Donner Party is the first one I got into because of a random Twitter comment that somebody posted that I'd never heard of this. There's not a lot of American history that gets taught in English schools. The most that we get is like Second World War and Cold War. Other than that, there is nothing of American history. We don't learn about the Civil War. We don't learn about Puritans or Salem or any of it. None of it gets taught in schools. So if you want to know about that stuff, you have to go off and do your own research. So I had no idea how many times this kind of thing happened back then. And so it's like, when you look back at it, it's like, holy shit, it was just all dysentery and eating each other.
Yep.
Your country has, it explains a lot, to be perfectly honest.
Excuse me. You're right, but shut up.
Hey, I can't say much. I'm part of Britain. Like, we just conquered the rest of the world and then went, sorry, how bad.
Were you about to say what? I've eaten a person before.
Apparently people taste like pork.
But yeah, it sounds a little bit similar to Down the Rabbit Hole, where he also has those very long stories, often related to historic stuff, like quite long videos that I also like to just listen to. And
it's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
But yeah, it even says Donner starter on a Donner starter pack on the Mortician starter pack video.
Well, because she is a practicing mortician. Like, she has her own funeral parlor that she owns and works in. Mm-hmm. So she is clued into that network of community, and she talks a lot about the things that have gone on in that community and little things that sort of normalize a lot of the processes that go into like post-death. I'm going to think about this. The industry. There's a horrible word for it, but yeah, the post-death industry. But it is one of those things that like things scare me less if I understand them. So like horror movies as a child absolutely freaked me the fuck out. To the point where I did a podcast fairly recently called The Childhood Media That Scarred Us, where I had a bunch of people on just to talk about movies and things that freaked us out. And mine was a stupid cartoon from Croatia in the 80s. Like, I was easily frightened as a child. Couldn't watch horror movies at all. So I ended up watching a load of documentaries and things about how they're made. Now I couldn't give a fuck. I watch them and laugh at them now. So the more I learn, the less stuff freaks me out. So I kind of really appreciate her channel because it makes me understand things a bit more.
Do you
But
think
then again,
that Americans like barbecue as much as we do because apparently humans taste like pork? I'm sorry, continue. That was the thought.
Is that just the thoughts playing across your face? Who do I not like who no one would miss that I can test this theory on?
That's an interesting one.
Nothing.
Wait,
nothing,
what?
Nothing. No, what? Wait, what?
Nothing. But yeah, who do you recommend this to, and who would you think would not like it?
People who would not like it are people who, one, don't want to know this stuff, who perhaps are a bit squeamish and don't want to know the ins and outs of funeral parlors and anything like that, or just aren't interested in history because, like I said, I love learning stuff on my spare time. So it appeals to history buffs like me, or just, I don't know, idiots who want to know more about America.
The history that gets not often talked about.
Exactly. Like we hear about the big things all the time, and there's so much history that's debated and torn to shreds raked over the coals all the time. And then there's these little obnits of history that get forgotten, and it's interesting to root them out and look at them and think of all these people who existed, their lives, their hopes, their dreams, everything that made them who they were, and the world has forgotten them. And I think it's deserving for us to go back and just remember that they existed in the hopes that someday somebody will do the same with us. I mean, to be honest, if they uproot mine, it's going to be just like stupid dick jokes and pony videos. So my legacy is not exactly stellar.
Holy shit. This would actually make a great segue into my media.
Oh boy. What? Yeah.
Actually more literal than you might think, because I got a video drop by Yuri a while ago, and I had it sitting there in a tab open where I was also like, I don't want to naturally check it out right now because it might be a little bit of a mood killer. So
Okay,
my
so
name
let's-
is
Oh.
my name is TotalBiscuit, which I assume came out, I'm just speculating here, came out at the anniversary of his death, or around the time at least, because it's relatively new. And he passed away like last summer.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
So I could imagine that this was this timing of the tribute is not coincidental. And yeah, I mean, maybe a word about the video itself. It's like nearly an hour long. It's, as the name says, The Life and Times of John Bain. It's mostly really recapping his life, like a lot of interview material from himself, like how he describes his childhood and his early discovery of podcasting and how his passion for it grew over the time and the stages he went into, or he went through. And it was mostly actually a very positive, nice, interesting video for the last, 10 minutes or so. Then it became very tearjerker because he passed away, and the Different Level, I believe is the name of the channel at least, the Different Level guy then put basically clips from live reactions of people when the news broke in the video, and you see you see a streamer just breaking into tears doing Twitch live streaming. You see two hosts of an Warframe, two hosts of a Warframe stream, like being like, hey, also wholly fighting their tears back, like, we just got the message that he passed away, we had a scheduled Warframe stream, but we don't think it's right now, so we don't do it. Instead, he showed, so the editor of this video, does this count as spoilers? But no, I mean, this video is really about learning about TB in a different way, so I guess this is not too bad. But in the end, while he talks about this, you also see I would a feed from Warframe where you saw. I assume that this was that you see the in game the characters like Warframe are those. I don't even know what they are. Those androids. I don't know. I never played it. Like the players, it's an MMORPG, but sci-fi, and you see like a bunch of players around a fountain or something, and probably doing an in-game silent minute or something for TV. So pretty impactful stuff squeezed in the last few minutes. Keyframe is fighting off somebody. But yeah, interesting thing if you wanna learn a bit about TB and his history and or in general are like, who the hell is that guy? I mean, they call him in the video one of the most influential people in the gaming industry, and while I cannot objectively confirm it, I know that he had a impact on me and my gaming behavior. Maybe even a little bit of impact on my general approach to critical thinking and analysis, because he was one of the guys I watched obsessively, probably around the time where I started my channel. And he might have even influenced me in that regard. So a tribute to a great man, and I would, fans of his, recommend to check it out. And people who have not heard of him and are like, who the hell? I would also be like, might be an interesting person to learn about.
I'd only really heard of him as he was nearing the end of his life. And I just remember there being some controversy about him being somewhat of a controversial figure.
Oh yeah, he was. He was a dick.
See, I would appreciate someone explaining this to me, because I'm not really a part of the gaming community. Like, I have my loves of, I freaking love Sonic the Hedgehog, Final Fantasy VII, and Kingdom Hearts. They're my three loves. Beyond that, I haven't got a fucking clue. So, could someone explain to me why he was so controversial?
The guy down here could explain it better than I, because I tried to. I watched TV for a while, but I never really knew about drama stuff because I kind of had the bubble going on. I mean, the only controversy I know is when he played that one game and the people who made that game kept taking down his video.
Who was that?
Talk bad about our game.
Oh, right. Okay. Silencing someone having a negative opinion.
Fun fact, apparently they even sent him the copy for review purposes, but since the review didn't turn out how they wanted...
You can have this, but only if you say nice things about it.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is rather common practice in the gaming industry today, like buying influencers, like, hey, how about an alpha demo? We invite you to this sweet weekend with hotel and everything. You got to play it, but there are a few things we would like you to mention when you do your video, you know? I mean, Downward Thrust had a similar issue. Oh my god. Sorry?
Would you kindly?
Oh yeah, would you kindly? Basically that, and this is an actual thing. A TB was not taking any of the shit, so they took it down, and I believe he fought tooth and claw until it was back up. But why was he so controversial? I mean, he is a confrontational guy. I mean, that's the thing. He doesn't take. He's not the diplomatic guy, so he goes in there, and he had a phase in his life. So this is a precursor for his personality, like confrontational, argumentative, a bit stubborn, British person. So he likes to debate, and. He had a time in his life where he was already exploding in popularity, so big target and everything. And he got into discussions with haters and trolls. Long discussions, heated discussions. I mean, from his end, he was probably still not falling into just name calling or stupidity, but calling out stupidity probably, and still using harsh language, because he was not the guy who watched his tongue too much. So and yeah, so therefore, because he went into confrontations online, then he was like, people was like, oh, can we trigger him to go ape shit on Twitter again? And yeah, that's probably how he got this image of being controversial,
Right.
because his content itself, I believe, was, not everybody loved it, obviously, because it's not every content has a target audience. But yeah. I don't think that his content itself was what made him controversial. More his behavior offside his content. Oh yeah, and one thing, I forgot one thing that I wanted to bring up: how TotalBiscuit might have affected the life of everybody watching right now, even including you, Obab Scribbler.
Right. Okay,
Yes.
I'm listening.
So from season 1 of this podcast to season 2, I made a very strong case to Keyframe that we should make guests a regular thing on our podcast, and I was even pushing before we officially started the next year for, hey, when are we starting to get guests? When are we starting to get guests? Because I was going to imitate the podcast, and even with segments, the idea of having segments was also introduced, like with talking a little bit about our week, then talking about media, and then going into Q&A as its own section. This idea also, all of this is inspired by the Game Station podcast, or later co-optional podcast that TotalBiscuit created.
I wanted to imitate Cox and Krendor, where it was, two close friends getting to be able to hang out with each other for a while and shoot the shit while people listen, and it's simplistic and nice. And then he was like, no.
Let's overcomplicate this.
It's funny because it's true. Hey, let me just see. 20. That is also why. Come on. Why the
Added sound effects.
the logo in 2017. Oh wait, this is actually 27. Why is there a guest?
Yeah, that's the original logo.
Okay, that is the original logo.
You pick one of the few where you had a guest.
Yeah, but yeah, this is why the original was also more the Cox and Crandor-ish, like, big picture of us and crabbing a guest into the corner, while nowadays the logo is, well, the thing you see when I remove the live feed, like a lot of space for more stuff on screen.
I'm going to say, I kind of love your expressions on the new one, because I've been watching your podcast for like quite a while.
Oh.
I dip in and out because I usually have like a long commute, so I put the phone on the seat next to me and listen to things. So I actually genuinely prefer this iteration of your thumbnail, because your expressions make me laugh every damn time I see them. It's like, oh god, they look.
Okay,
Yeah.
this raises.
We totally meant to do this. This is absolutely planned.
Okay, this raises a question. Those expressions, Scribbler, or season 2?
See, in that one, you just look scared.
I mean,
In that one, you look like you've been tied up by a serial killer, and he's currently making you smile for the camera that you're going to be sent for your picture to your families for the ransom.
okay, I'm glad that we've hit a good middle ground.
Now you're just like, ta-da!
I mean, in theory, we are still tied up with the cable from the second one. It's not that.
It looks a little less murdery now, though.
Yeah, it's not that visible in this particular picture with
It's
the screenshot.
a friendship rope.
But I mean, but yeah, when you here the rope is actually more visible. Oh yeah, it's actually not there at all in this version. I didn't notice.
It's two versions, remember?
Oh, because yeah, that's the version that I know where we have the rope, the cable.
Yeah,
God, don't call it cord.
It looks like you were like pretending to be Zendaya and Zac Efron in The Greatest Showman. It's like, we're going to be doing trapeze. We fucked up. Ta-da!
Ta-da! You know what?
I'm just sitting in judgment of you in the corner.
Goals.
Really?
Also,
Okay.
Also, yeah, I didn't know which picture to take, so I just ripped this from your Twitter.
I'm genuinely glad that you ripped this one because I love this. It's actually a GIF that Purple Black Kiwi made for me out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this at all. And he sent me this, and it raises its eyebrow. And I was like, oh my god, I do that all the time in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit there with a cup of coffee going.
I saw that. Wait, let me find the actual GIF where the movement happens. Scrolling.
Because he's gotten quite into GIFs lately, but they're a relatively new thing for him.
Why don't we go to them?
To what? To questions?
To the rails. You see the rails that we're very far away from, that we're off because of you. We're off the rails. Do you get my joke yet? Do I need to spell it out for you? Rails are over here. Shut up, Lux.
Okay, that was fucking awesome. Who have you got tied up and kept in the corner?
Luximus is in the corner with her computer.
Tied up, help.
No, don't help. I mean, she doesn't need help.
I need help.
No, she doesn't.
Your first answer. No, don't help.
You're
You're not an adult for me.
Wow. Also, I found it. Hooray.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now it stopped moving. Fuck you, picture. Oh, there it is. There it moves again. Anyways, so questions. Am I right? You guys thought.
Start your question time because I go on Discord.
Exactly. So you guys already thought it was horrible and disorganized. I am now in charge of questions for Twitter and Discord.
Podcasts with me. I caused this. I don't have to be here, but I like the chaos.
Yeah. So we all do.
I mean, she's asking, is this turning into the Kidnapper cast? No, totally not. I don't have any narrators tied up in my basement.
Okay, I believe I already saw questions that I found interesting. So, one question, kind of related to something we addressed earlier. Okay, from Landon the One. What was the start of your channel like? The hardship and what it is like now? Is everything you do worth it? Oh, also are you joining the Area 51 raid? Let's see the aliens. Anyways.
Fuck off with this Area 51 bollocks. I don't even get what it is. People keep asking me about it, and I'm like, I don't understand.
It's
We're
a
going to get the
meme.
aliens out of there.
Yeah, it's a meme. I mean,
I can feel the collective IQ of your country dying.
You think it's okay? This time it's actually international. I have the feeling. At least I see enough.
Oh no, that's worse.
Hey, does it make you feel better that animal shelters are advertising, being like raid us, and calling it raid us?
I saw that. I've retweeted a couple of them.
Yeah, then they dress up their dogs and cats as aliens, so people can.
To be fair, that's really good marketing.
It's true.
I would so much rather raid an animal shelter and take all the puppies.
Yes.
I retweeted one earlier that was basically, or on Tumblr I believe it was, where some was, with this entire Area 51 theme, what really makes me crack up about it, the thought that in the Pentagon somebody has to explain to higher ups what a Naruto run is.
Oh my god! I'm just imagining somebody trying to explain it to Trump.
Yeah, you see, Mr. President, when they use their arms in their properly sized hands.
And that makes them really able to dodge bullets? No, Mr. President, it doesn't. I need to try it. No, Mr. President. And after that, Trump Naruto ran through the entire, always through the White House.
Oh, my head's gonna be full of that image now of Trump running down this corridor going.
I hear a fun fact that makes this all better.
Yeah, what makes it even sadder, so I now visualize it in my head, so you see Trump Naruto running at high speed, aka his security is just doing a mild walk next to him because he's a fat old man, he will not run very quick, even when he does Naruto run.
I can't breathe.
It doesn't help that I've been having the mental image in my head for the past week of Donald Trump being the same person as Shadow the Hedgehog.
Edgy the hedgy.
Yeah, because in that one weird corgi movie, the voice of Donald Trump is the same voice actor who voices Sonic the Hedgehog.
Meow.
Oh my god!
The Photoshop is Donald Trump taking a selfie with Sonic. And Sonic running is basically Naruto running, so I'm just imagining. Gotta go back.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my god, my cheeks hurt! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, well, still, Shadow. Oh, but anyway.
How did our channel start out, and how is it now, and was it all worth it?
Oh my god, it led me to this particular moment of pure joy. It was all worth it.
So I take it I take it you now officially approve of the Area 51 meme.
I don't give a fuck. I just want to keep laughing at the idea of Trump Naruto running as a security guard, ambling beside him.
Guys.
I want out of this. Somebody please have to turn this into a thing.
Ray, you're in the chat. Draw Trump Naruto.
Oh my god.
But make 2 images with the legs in different positions so we can turn it into a GIF.
Like a slow GIF too. So like.
Yeah, let's keep it reasonable, okay?
Well, no. I'm not saying a full animated thing because he's running so slowly.
Oh.
To be running that slowly.
It's like
If it was realistic, at some point he would just give up and get a golf cart.
Naruto golf cart. But no.
With the village symbol on the top.
Scribbler, and do you think it's been worth it all the while?
Okay, I will actually answer the question now. Sorry. Literally, you've made me cry with laughter. Oh my god. Oh, my makeup's fucked now. Thank you. It's not supposed to be your job. That's supposed to be narrator's job. Right. Okay. My channel started off as a stupid receptacle for videos that I used to watch, because I've been on YouTube about 11, 12 years now. And yeah, I started off not as a creator at all. I started off just... I've just remembered the thing I actually made my channel to do. I was deep into Yu-Gi-Oh fandom back in the day.
We learned so much. Yu-Gi-Oh, Sonic, Brown...
Hang on. You've been to my fanfiction.net profile. There are something like 580 fanfics on there that I've written over the years. None of them being recent pony ones. Loads of them are from Yu-Gi-Oh, because I used to write like 2 or 3 a week. It was my catharsis to the rest of the world being a bit shit. But I was deep into Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was just as YouTube started, and there were loads of these early AMVs of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I made my channel just so that I could save all these to a playlist.
Ah.
So that's what my channel started off as.
You were an AMV alt.
I didn't make any. I was never that good. I say I never made any. Fuck, I've just remembered. Yes, I did.
All right,
they're still there. The 2 earliest things on my channel, I don't even know if one counts as an AMV. I wrote a big-ass Yu-Gi-Oh fanfic called Schadenfreude.
Ooh,
and
good name.
it was... Well, it was all about a demon that sucks the sadness out of people. I was... Funny enough, I was working as an exam invigilator at the time.
Yes, there it is.
There it is. The early ones. The first video I ever did was a big old advert.
that Windows movie maker.
It was early. I had the flu one day, so I decided since I was stuck in bed, I would just make this random thing to advertise this fanfic based on, and I can't even remember how old I was now. Must have been like early 20s, and it was ripped straight from the story. And the story, to be honest, I look back, I'm still proud of that story, but I look about the AMV and just go, oh my god, my toes curl up and my spine attempts to curl into my colon. It's like, no!
Obviously, link to the video in the description on YouTube down below.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't care if people go and read that story. That was early days.
No, to the video.
I know, but the video is the video
Fair.
description.
Fair.
That's like the only upside to that, because the video itself is fucking cringe. And the one that came after that was a Kingdom Hearts AMV. And thereafter, I did nothing until 2013, when I did a fanfic reading. When I'd wanted to get into pony fandom because I'd been like on the peripheries of things. And I remember having the active thought of, I want to do some of that. I want to be involved in that. And I was listening to early fanfic readers. And the early fanfic readers, I forget some of their names now, but they, like Mike the Microphone and early fanfic readers, a lot of them would make commentary on stories as they were reading them, and none of them had heard of noise cleanup. They just sat with a headset mic, puffing air, the plosives all the way through. And I sat there and thought, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll bet I could be better than that. So I had a go. And the first fic reading I ever did had a massive amount of static in it, so it was shit. But it just kind of went from there. And does anybody remember? I think his name was Emperor Penguin. He used to do clop readings and things on YouTube.
Ring a bell?
He was an early fanfic reader, but he was really, really good. He was actually the first person I ever collaborated with. Not on a clop reading. But he put out a reading called Blue Steel Junction. And I listened to that one night, and I was only meant to take the dog out for like 10 minutes of walk. And this reading was an hour long. I thought I'll listen to the first 10 minutes and then I'll come back to it later. So an hour and 10 minutes later, I come home. And I didn't start making videos out of spite, whoever said that in the chat.
That dog had the best walkies that day.
Oh, yeah, she did indeed have best walkies that day, because it was just up and down the hills going, this is really good, I don't want to go home. But it had sound effects and music and things in it. And I just thought, I wonder if I could do that. And so I had a go, and I really, really liked it. And it just turned out it kind of went from there that I started meeting people to collaborate with, and my friendship circle grew, and it just kind of spiraled outwards from there of pure curiosity and kind of took over my life, and I don't really regret it a bit.
Huzzah!
Yeah, there's good and bad to everything, isn't there? So, like, there's been drama along the way. Holy shit, there has been drama along the way. None of which I'm going to talk about, because I sit on a pile of secrets that I never let out.
But yeah. A Keyframe, how on your end, how was it starting out, the hardship, and how is your channel coming along?
And can I ask a question? When's Allegretza coming back?
Oh, right. We haven't even reached my part in Allegretza.
I want it.
Oh, wait, we can play this ball back, can't we? When is the baking video coming out, Scribbler? The baker.
Baking video? Which baking video? I promised a lot of things.
The one with crust as the glue maker.
Oh God, that one. That's actually in process for this month, this year's Month of Macabre.
Ooh, nice.
It's because it's got so many chapters in it. It's the Month of Macabre special this year.
I am allowed. There are fan fiction things on that collaboration list that I've been on for years. So until all of those are done, I don't have to feel bad.
All of those? Hang on, little Missy. I recently put out a fic reading with you in it as Fluttershy, and those vocals were like 3 years old. So I get to everything. Eventually.
And so will I, eventually.
Hang on, you've got one fucking story to do.
No, I have multiples.
Really? Where are the rest of them?
Well, I have Hard Reset, but that one is I compensate for actors, so I need to have the money to pay all of them, so I'm just waiting till I have all the money saved up to do it.
You realize, of course, I'm in that as Luna, and I'll do it for free because you're my friend, right?
I don't care. It is a principle thing.
You realize I'll just reverse the payment, right?
Don't you dare!
I fucking will.
Don't pay.
You don't get to tell me I am older than you. You don't get to tell me what to do.
But no, how I started my channel. I wanted to make something, and I did. I mean, I was going to start my channel stuff before I met YouTubers to be friends with and everything, but then Silver Quill's video came out before I could make mine. Isn't that no?
And you had like 300 subscribers on your channel before you did your first video.
Yeah, and
how'd you do that?
Because I did a collab with Silver Quill, and so I subscribed to my YouTube channel. And you know what? Cool. I can at least say this: every video I make is an improvement on the last video, and basically my YouTube channel is essentially, at this point, stuff I want to make because I want to make it, not because I feel like I have to appease someone. And and then also the thing of if I'm going to put something on there, it's going to be something that I feel the way I edit it, the way I make the assets for it, all that it's something I'm proud of, and I am of the mindset that we are all constantly improving upon our craft. So I want, when I make things, to show a little bit of improvement each time. I never want to stagnate. And you know, the inactivity on my channel actually shows how I don't regret starting it, because it was my YouTube channel was my jumping board to doing everything that I do, and highlighting my art career, which is being a lot bigger. I mean, I'm here, and you know, I have a full-time animation job now and everything. So it's all that. And so I don't regret it at all. But the number one thing that makes me not regret it is the people that I have in my life now that I would not have gotten if I wasn't on YouTube, and if I didn't start being in the YouTube scene. I mean, would I have told myself years ago, hey, your best friend's going to be a German, if I didn't start being part of the internet verse? No.
True story.
So, yeah, regret it.
I think the connections that we make from this are the most important part. I joked earlier about legacies and stuff, but I very much subscribe to the idea of our legacies will be the memories that we create in people. So videos, artwork, none of it really matters. It's the people and the impressions we make on them that matters. And so I would say that your legacy is going to be a good one.
Yeah. That's a wholesome one.
Somewhat mitigated by the comment in the channel. Hold on, Keyframe makes content.
Oh, Odie.
I make content. It's just not content that's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's that old-fashioned thing of the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't go into the real world. It's funny and it's meant.
I mean, even that real world that you're currently working on actual like physical drawings, like not even digital art, but actual like canvas and shit, don't you? Keyframe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's for you. I'm not an artist. It's not me.
But yeah, I guess to also throw in my answer very quickly, and then from now on we have so many questions. We need to speed this up for the other ones to get at least through a handful of more of them.
Especially since my phone is doing the dying thing. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I started out as probably the worst tryhard ever. I mean, my current channel, AMI Entertainment, was my third channel I tried. Mm-hmm. The first one was just me bullshitting stuff, which didn't work out too well. I believe the strange German fashion conspiracy, I believe we talked about it before. I put the link in the description down below. This was my first attempt of like, I become a YouTuber. Didn't go anywhere because if you're an independent channel with original content, you need to be really good to actually get noticed and to be putting a lot more stuff out. I believe I had like 2 videos maximum. I don't know. Then I became a Channel Awesome fanboy back in the day when you still could back in the day when you still could be one. But I mean, while I especially was at the beginning a big fan of Nostalgia Critic himself, I also was a fan of Linkara, of CR, who actually got me into ponies, and so on. But yeah, then
hang on, can I just interrupt? Same. CR was one of the people who got me into ponies.
With his My Little Pony Little Ponies retrospect, this is literally how I started as a brony.
Oh my goodness, I'm just surprised I'm not the only one who remembers that.
Yeah.
I feel so much better now.
You're welcome. But yeah, it was literally, I was a fanboy of CR. He made this retrospect and was like, hey, here's how it used to be. Here's how it currently is. It's cool. Watch it. I like, okay. Went over there, binged season 1, caught up to season 2, and which brings us to the beginning of season 3, for which I actually started my channel. This was supposed to be a one-shot. I didn't want to put any, didn't want to poison my successful 50 subscriber channel where I did some Channel Awesome sucking up content. So I didn't want my successful 50 people channel, so I created a new channel for the pony stuff. And I did one for the Crystal Empire, like a review. very horrible, and I was still talking like this because I had not discovered intonation then, and English language was still very strange to me. So yeah, I got a little bit better since then, and and with the first video was out in a week because I was in college. I had time back then. I posted it in a few places, and it actually got positive feedback. I was like, hey, new episode, let's do this again. And before I knew it, I did one every week. My channel exploded, was among the top 10, if not even top 4 biggest MLP review, what later became the Brunalysys channels, before Digi completely reinvented the scene. Even with him, when he kick-started the scene, I was still among the top 10 for a while. In what was it? What did we call it? Keyframe Generation 2 was it? I believe.
Gen 2.
The second generation of Brunalysys.
Analyst community to see who were like the OGs.
The OGs.
How like when people came in and like I think like Buck, Brony, and Golden are like the top 2.
Yes,
wow.
Golden is absolute. I mean, maybe we should spread this list at some point after we have polished it. But yeah, it was an interesting evening. But yeah, hardships. I fell into hardships when I started working and did not have the time and passion anymore. I desperately clung on to my fame because yeah, that's a sad thing. Even if you have this small fellowship, you get very quickly used to it. And nowadays, I actually can barely even remember how it was to not have an audience. Even if it is very tiny today, but eventually after struggling with the fact that, especially due to my real life job, I cannot live up to it anymore, making peace with it and nowadays focusing on content that I enjoy was a hard step, but yeah, in retrospect, definitely worth it. Absolutely, not a question about it. It was a big part of my life for many years, and it formed a lot of my behavior. Nothing on this wall would be there. I got really pushed into the furry fandom thanks to somebody who was following me due to my brony content and was like, hey, I know you are also a furry. There's a furry convention in Berlin, the biggest one in Europe. Don't you know this? And I'm like, what? So I went to Eurofurns. I guess all the pony stuff is self-explanatory. And then through the people I met in the fandom who are goddamn nerds and cartoon lovers, I got introduced to stuff like Ladybug. So, yeah.
I've yet to try Ladybug. It's on my watch later list. Watch later list.
It's something.
It's
fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's guilty pleasure material. Also, I might or might not have an image from Silver.
I saw that image there before. Oh my god! That's amazing! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god!
You come over here. You look.
What?
It's just a hair!
Important that I got gold.
It's Naruto. I'm running down. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she's the adult in the room. She's like, what?
Yeah, please.
Shut up, Lux.
Please, Silver, post it on Twitter so we can all retweet it. This needs to go
Yes.
viral. This
Do
needs
that.
to go viral. But yeah.
Next
Okay,
question.
okay, exactly. Next question. We have so many questions. We really need to quickfire to get
Sorry.
through. No problem. I mean, I was monologuing myself, so goes to all of us. Chaka, we want to do
Sorry.
many questions. Okay, I have another one from Valus on the Discord. What are your thoughts on the Cats movie trailer?
Oh!
I don't care what people say. Fuck you. The makeup, yeah, may look a bit weird. They should have used practical instead of CGI. But you know what? I like the cast, and it's a musical filled with Broadway people actually performing these things. So let's just have fun. Christ.
I am a big Cats fan of old. Like I don't even know if it made it to America. There was like it was an old videotape stage performance of Cats.
Grabbing his VHS tape of Cats.
Have you got it? Because
No,
I actually watched.
Cats was what got Max to be a furry. So.
Ah.
I mean, it was
Well,
my
I watched that so often as a kid that I literally wore out the videotape. It blanked it. But I am interested to see what they can do with this.
Yeah.
It's meant to be Uncanny Valley. I mean, if anybody's seen the stage show, it's like, well, what were you expecting the movie to look like?
Here's the thing.
There we go. There's
Exactly. I actually have it on DVD. For some reason, I do not. I was so sure that it was one of the few DVDs I actually have in my apartment, because who watches DVD nowadays anymore? Am I right?
I won't say anything about my collection.
Yeah, that I still have my collection. It's in a box in the basement, but
Oh, yours fits in a box. How sweet.
burn.
But yeah, you were going to say something?
Yeah, you can say about Cats.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a me thing, but I have to say this does not look as uncanny. It is like people wearing makeup. And like it has more of a costume vibe, and also it looks actually more 3D because they have the fluff on the shoulders, while here they have this very blank fur. So we have this very unmodified human. They did more to the modification of the body than in here, and in here we have this very. I mean, point what I want to make is that it is. I personally find it. Well, also, big Cats fan, as Keyframe said. It basically was my furry awakening. And this looks really, I would say it looks a little bit uncanny when I look at the characters, but this is something you can probably get through. But then there's also that I find those, because they still don't strike me as cats, when you see them jump around in those giant bed and whatnot in the trailer, it's like they just look like tiny people. Like they don't look like cats. However, I saw this on Tumblr, and look at here they are still anthropomorphic, but they still have cat-like bodies and features in this artwork for the movie.
You know, this artwork that's the size of an ant right now.
We can't actually see it.
But you see those shadows, which are cats.
No.
There. Okay, I cannot make it any bigger.
Okay, now I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here it goes. Here it works again, because they don't have a completely human body who has just a weird. They look with just a little bit of a color and ears on it.
Some of them look more than that. Like Judi Dench's, it looks better. And like the cats that I'm supposing are supposed to be like ragamuffins or look older.
The Ian McKellen cats.
But here's again the thing. You want to know why they don't look this bad? They have additions to their outfit. They are not those flat, naked human bodies with this very thin fur on it.
True. Okay, you make a good point.
But here's the thing. Still, with all that said, I share Keyframe's excitement because I have seen the fucking cast. And the uncanniness aside, I'm curious about it, and will most definitely watch it in theater. But yes,
I just want to see Idris Elba as McCavity.
I honestly, the cast member that I'm excited about is, which is the one that a lot of people were like, besides people just hating James Corden for the sake of hating James Corden.
I'm in that camp. I fucking hate James Corden.
What?
We sent him to you for a reason. Stop giving him back.
Why?
No,
Okay,
Because he's annoying as fuck. He's all about cringe humor, and I hate cringe humor.
James
He's
Corden
not funny.
He's a good boy.
He might be a good boy, but he's not funny, and I really wish it was like Emperor's New Clothes, and everybody would stop pretending that he is. As soon as we acknowledge that he's not funny, I can like him more. Rant over.
Okay, but yeah, the cast member I was excited about was actually Jason Derulo, which a lot of people are like, why the fuck? Because everyone remembers him as like the
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, that guy. But what people don't know is he's actually a trained opera singer.
Oh wow, I did not know that. I knew he'd done like stage work, but
pop star, and no one knows this. and then I have to link them to him performing opera, and they're like, it's like, it would be like seeing, I don't know, Max sing like Whitney Houston. It would be, it's one of those moments where everyone's like, and that makes me so excited. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Cats.
Okay, Scribbler, you have any particular thoughts on this particular upcoming version of it, since you're also an old fan?
I am intrigued. I am not going to hold out hopes that it is going to be like the stage show, which I love beyond all reason. But I'm going to give it a chance. Because, to be honest, the stage show, I came across that when I was in my early teens and was in a production of Cats and just fell in love with it. So, yeah, I was the fat cat in the corner.
I knew the names of all of them.
I was Jenny Anydot.
Aw, her name
So
is
I've been
Jenny.
replaced by Rebel Wilson in this one.
Her name is Jenny Anydot. That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm not gonna have huge hopes, but put it this way. I am more willing to give this a chance than the Lion King remake.
Hey-oh.
I can't believe
Yeah, right. Same here. I'm not even bothering to go into the cinema at this point. From what I have seen, it seems so lazy, which is so weird to say about highly detailed, photorealistic cats and this fucking budget that they blow in it, but it still looks so lazy.
Because the choreography is lazy. When you look at any of the shots that have been released, like for example the Hakuna Matata song.
Yeah.
Yes, it's one long tracking shot. And it's not even a deep track. It is just one. Okay, a lot of CGI films. Okay, one of the things that people don't often know about me is that I kind of teach media studies in real life. So that's one of the feathers in my cap, is that this is like literally my job. And it bugs me when the choreography and the setup of scenes is lazily done. And it does not matter how much money you plow into the visuals if you haven't choreographed them well. And if you have one standard tracking shot, pulling back on characters and just following them through a scene, but you don't change the speed of it, you don't change the angle, you just drag it through, it's boring to watch. And it does not matter how photorealistic your lions are. It doesn't matter if you've mastered fur technology. If you are just pulling back and following them through, you're like, okay, I may as well have put on Serengeti on BBC then.
The best part about whenever I saw that clip of the Hakuna Matata stuff on like Twitter or something is that because it became from like a sneak peek that was shown on like a late night show, for a split second at the end of every clip you see Childish Gambino wearing like a lion on. It's like
that would have improved the movie.
It's like, okay, was this my treat for watching that? Because thank you.
Oh no!
But,
yeah, we are bad again at being quick at time.
The chat is chastising us for going off track. You're never ever going to want to have anyone like me on this again.
Okay, back to Twitter. Season the Weekend asks for Obab. Haha.
I love it when people think that's my name. No, my name is Scribbler. Obab is the name of an old fanfic I wrote.
It would be such a mean
Beast and Blade. That was an early X-Men Evolution fanfic, and that's what I named myself after because I'm an idiot.
Oh yeah, X-Men Evolution. I also watched that far too passionate in my 90s.
Question.
Yeah.
Yes. I am working on an original project that is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that's currently on Wattpad. What do you have any advice for me on how to bring it to more readers, to it, so I can get more pointers and constructive criticism on my work to help me improve?
Well, for one thing, don't put it on Wattpad.
What would you recommend then, Seth?
I've never in my life looked at anything on Wattpad. It tends to be, it's viewed as a dumping ground. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's got a reputation of being a dumping ground. So depending on what you want to do with it, you need to get it to a platform where people are going to see it. And one of the best things you can do is to find like-minded forums and Twitter is an amazing network for this kind of thing because fan communities on Twitter are like rabbit warrens. They just keep branching off into more and more burrows. But you can find people who are willing to guide you through what to do and to find little fandom communities who will lead you by the hand through what you have to do until you're ready to walk on your own and find your own audience. Why is somebody calling me a tree?
Wait, what?
What?
I missed the beginning of that.
Scribbler is not a tree.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
You're right.
True, but I'm not sure where that conversation came from. I took my eye off the ball.
There's your answer, Season. Good job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then a question from Denim Ninja. When I first read the question, I was like, what kind of question is that? That's a stupid question. Like, if you were a crayon, what kind of color would you be and what would your color be named? I first thought it was something like red, blue, whatever, like, yeah, what color? But then I actually checked the pictures he sent with the question. Why the fuck do crayons have names like Freckle, Freshly Squeezed, Jalapeno, Ladybug, Beautiful
Crayola got
Blue,
creative.
Sunny
Yeah,
Side Up,
It's supposed to be creative, Max. It's crayon.
Peace, Love, and Purple. It's just purple. Night Owl is black. What?
Okay, well, to answer...
And why is Freckle poop brown?
Okay, I'm insulted.
I'm talking about the crayon and not your freckles.
I'm sorry, but I'm also insulted as someone who has freckles that they would associate freckles with that color.
Okay, you're insulted at the right
Well,
thing.
Applejack has freckles.
Exactly, but are they poop brown?
White.
I mean, if they went at least with something like oak, then I would be like, okay, it's tree brown. Anyways,
Okay,
what color?
answer the question and not just have you do it that stupid about crayon colors live.
Apparently. But yeah, the question was...
Awkward podcast. Let's rant about crayons.
Exactly. It would be awkward. But yeah, the question was, what would you be color-wise with the proper name?
Okay.
Soulless black.
Okay, well, we got her.
Okay, we got one answer down.
You know what? I want to be one of those cool crayons that are like two colors of wax twisted and call it bipolar.
Not even surprised. What was it? Sorry?
I call it having two colors of waxes swirled together and call it bipolar disorder.
Wow, we are really a colorful bunch because I wanted to go for German gray.
Ooh,
You wish.
this is like the most cynical crayon pack in the world. It's to be used only in adult coloring books. Actually,
You gotta admit though, bipolar disorder as a two-tone crayon is kind of brilliant.
that is a pretty damn good pun.
But what other...
It's like a super bright yellow and then like a super gray, sad blue.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, people remember maybe my old channel background, which was just this gradient of gray.
I remember, and people
yeah.
kept busting through the wall.
Very true.
I remember the
I used to
comment
watch all your videos when I was working.
But
Oh,
yeah, I basically needed to get forced to adapt this purple background for my newer videos.
Who
Because
forced you?
I believe one of my editors, wasn't it? It probably was Luna. Luna who was like, yeah, I have an idea. Who was it, Key? Can you remember?
Oh, Apple. It was Apple.
Oh, it was actually Apple? No, Apple was not on the team that early.
No, Apple started with the fading from the gray started from fading from gray into the blue into the reddish color that's in the end screen. And then Luna just made blue to the red because I don't think we even use the gray anymore.
No. I mean, even better. But yeah, it was not me who brought more color into my life. It was literally other people.
Yep.
That was your opportunity to say it was you, Keyframe.
I'm not
Well,
even
I
sure.
made
Maybe
the
it was her. Oh, it was her after all. Not even surprised.
I I made the backgrounds for everything, and then the only reason we didn't make that the background for his channel from that point on using That Stupid was because the original That Stupid logo, when it was animated with the gray background.
Oh,
but
yeah.
now we have on who reanimated it where it's just transparent and everything's cool.
Cute.
But yeah, next question.
Next question. Let me see. Here's a what do they call it when it's temporarily fitting, time-wise?
Topical?
Topical. Thank you. A topical question by Quack Quack Boom.
That's an amazing name.
Guess who it is?
What? Is it Wooten?
No, Quack Quack Boom. Who is?
Is it Odin?
Yeah, of course it's Odie.
Cool.
Quack Quack Boom asked, with the final BC coming, I gotta ask, how do you deal with people who go to cons and don't understand the difference between reality and fiction? Not sure if this is a direct reference to Christian coming to this con or in general, but yeah.
I actually had quite a few encounters with Christian at the last BronyCon, and she was genuinely a lot better than a lot of people that I've met over the years.
This could actually be, but yeah, I mean, I never, I had very long exchanges actually with her in Twitter PMs, so I got to know the person a little bit myself. However, she kept going into, which is kind of fitting to the question, she kept going into her delusions and couldn't have a conversation without referencing her fantasy dimension, and
oh dear.
so and I started to try to teach her to be a little bit more functioning and being like, okay, you are no longer permitted to use our real life names, because she referred to people like Dog by their real life names. And while I am publicly known as Max, and Chrissy is also fine with not only being known as Key, some of our friends are a little bit more private and sensitive when it comes to their real life names. And here is Christine blurting out the real life names constantly because she needs to differentiate between the creator and the actual alive fiction OC living in a parallel dimension. Anyways, this question, we don't even know if the question actually was going in this direction. So yeah, how do we handle people who have different problems with keeping reality and fiction apart?
I've had to deal with that because people just think that I'm the medic in the TF2 analysis anarchy thing and nothing else. So, what I just kind of do, cry. But no, when I make Max laugh but also look pained, I know I accomplished something today. But no, given my job as a vendor, I just kind of have to grit and bear it. But I've gotten a lot to the point. There was like a moment actually during this con where I had to be kind of like, excuse me, I'm a person, like Oof. Put my foot down kind of thing. And you know what? It's not comfortable to do, but it's the good thing to do.
This is also not comfortable to be treated by like not a person.
Mm-hmm.
Not a coinky dink, but no, if someone is refusing to acknowledge the fact that you are a real life person and only views you as the characters that you portray or your persona and don't understand that there is a separation between the two, unless they have mental functions in their brain, have a spectrum of letting them know that you are a person. Like just say, like if they don't know any better and can't know any better, be a bit nicer about it. But if they're a normal person, normal in the sense of they don't have that kind of brain function, you're allowed to be a dick.
Okay, Scribbler, your take?
I'm kind of in an odd position on this one because the first couple of times I went to conventions things, nobody had a clue who the fuck I was. So, which made it social interactions a whole lot easier. But the last couple of years, while I've been community guests at different things and where I have been a bit more recognisable, the way that I've tended to deal with it, and it doesn't work for everybody. And to be honest, it might not work in all situations. I may have just been quite lucky in the people that I've encountered, is sort of taking people to one side and very quietly explaining it to them. Because one of the things that I've never wanted to do is like publicly humiliate people, even if it's in a public place. You can play along for a certain amount of time when it's in something like a convention atmosphere. There is that playfulness that goes along with being at a con. And when people cross over the line, I've found that if I've explained to them, this is making me uncomfortable now, generally people are quite apologetic, and they oftentimes just haven't realized where the line was and were deeply apologetic when they realized they had crossed it. It doesn't always work. I have heard stories of other people who just don't get it at all. Thankfully, I've not had to encounter many of them. There have been a couple of times where I think it was at Brony Scott, actually, or it might have been at dim and distant past of Buck, that there was one person who was just following our little group around, wouldn't talk to us, clearly knew who we were because they asked for an autograph, but then just kind of, you know when you turn around and you're like, they're at that stall, that's interesting, I saw that person earlier, and you'll walk along a bit and think, they've moved along a bit more, they don't appear to be buying anything, but they are keeping pace with us. And we went to the dining area. They've come for coffee too. And we went back to the hall to watch a panel. They've come to watch this panel too. Something's going on here. But it was so early into my fandom career, I didn't really get it, and they never did anything. But it was just a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, I don't know what I would have done if they had tried to approach on that moment.
I mean, didn't you guys encounter something similar, not to name names, Key, but with a fellow at a few cons to a point where we had to be confronted at least twice when he was starting to follow up into the hotel area where the rooms are?
Yeah, I had that going on. It wasn't fun. It was... I had someone almost follow me to my room once because of this stuff, so...
I mean, probably a harmless fellow who is just a fan and doesn't get where the boundaries are, but still doesn't make it any less creepy.
Terrifying! Someone you don't know is trying to follow you to your room. It's creepy.
So it was not the fellow I was thinking of? Was a stranger or...
Stranger.
Huh? Complete stranger. Okay, then it gets a bit more creepy. I mean, it's also creepy with the other one, but Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, how to deal with people who have a problem. Here's the thing, because I lack any form of fantasy. Keyframe can confirm that. I have not a single original bone in my body. I used to have my own fantasy worlds, but that's long ago. So I nowadays, except for my megalomania, firmly stated in reality, which is like when I'm confronted with somebody who doesn't seem to grasp the concept, I will probably be very blunt. I mean, like I was with Christian, where I was very like blunt, like, please do not derail the conversation by talking about your delusions. Like I calling it to her face delusions in written form, so not to the face. Which,
the closest you can get to.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't take that shit. Let me put it like that. I don't take that shit. I ain't nobody had time for that. I'm not Noah.
Got time for it.
I'm not, what's his name? Noah? Something Noah? The Saturday Night guy? Stand up, black guy?
I think I know who you mean, but I can't remember his name.
Whatever.
Wow, great reference there.
I
Good
know. Somebody in chat will probably post it in a second what his name is. Something Noah. Or Nora something, whatever.
To the wiki!
Yeah, but I would probably
Trevor Noah? Are you trying to say Trevor Noah?
Yes!
Trevor Noah!
You were saying Noah.
I thought he was saying noir.
Yeah, like... Okay, Sean's a testament that you are hard to understand sometimes.
But yeah, Gray has a point. I'm neither sassy nor black enough for that. To pull off an...
You can actually click your fingers, which still puts you ahead of me.
I can click. I can click even more than my fingers.
Okay, Cribs, you remember that thing that you said about James Corden with cringe that his and you guys threw him to America? I this
Hey,
one. He's
you're going to visit this one.
at the same time. Can I throw you?
You can throw him, but it won't catch.
That's even better. But yeah, so I think we get to like the FMK now because my roommates have been polite and quiet for hours, and I kind of feel for them.
Yeah, we have been recording nearly 2 hours.
That is true. I'm sorry, Enigma. I wanted to go for one of yours, but well, I guess it's time for what the mad lad, who is also a wolf, has to ask. So he asks us in old FMK tradition. 3 beautiful people from 3 totally different places. Fuck, marry, kill. The UK, Germany, America.
Do we all agree to kill America? Like,
I mean,
in its current form, we have to get you out of there first. There's a couple of people who want to save, and then yes.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, first of all, it makes it kind of difficult. The UK and America are both already fucked, so I already came in a second after whoever fucked them over first.
ew.
You're welcome for this juicy image.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean, it's boring that we all agree to kill America because, yeah, my original line of thinking was mercy killing America as a country to free the people who are still in there, like by killing America, so the poor people like Keyframe and so will then be able to create a new nation on the same land. I mean, how do you kill a country? So I would maybe say go after the government or something, not about every single citizen.
People still want the Second Amendment to exist. Because thought processes like that, my dude.
Well, then that even if we agree to mercy kill America,
we
still lives fuck marry between Germany and Britain.
That's true. Oh,
Okay,
I mean, to be perfectly honest, Germany would probably be the more solid marriage prospect, whereas Britain is like we're like the kinky librarian. Like we seem all a stiff upper lip and very polite, and then turn into actual demons in the sack.
That's a good one. Oh, maybe
Okay. Scribbler, who are you gonna fuck, marry, kill?
Are we talking about the 3 countries? I've just said mine.
Oh yeah, okay. So kill America, fuck England, and marry Germany.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about you, Max?
Now I have to be the contrarian, I guess. Because this was my original answer. Okay, throw everything out. I revive America. I do a little bit of CPR.
You can marry the corpse.
Gonna recitate so you can fuck it.
Oh my god, that's necrophilia. Where the hell has this podcast gone?
In awkward
You
places.
told me it was going to be awkward. I didn't realise we were talking actual We've rubbished horse vaginas. We have killed America, and now we're talking about fucking corpses. Right.
Look, Scribs. It doesn't matter. One podcast before, we were talking about the idea of fucking the beach. So
this is the time where I shouldn't really tell you that has actually happened here in Britain. That there was
having sex with the beach.
Well, there's a university called Bangor University, which is in Wales near the beach, and people get very, very drunk and go to the beach and fall over and dig holes. And just fuck the holes.
Okay. I was thinking they
get a lot of sandburns.
They dig the holes without their hands, but okay, they first actively dig the hole and.
Yeah, well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Depends how drunk they are. That's in Wales. They haven't fucked Britain. They've just fucked Wales. And Wales, people could argue Wales is fucked enough.
They fuck sheep.
Yeah, I guess I also kill America, fuck the UK, and marry Germany because I am kind of married to Germany by now because I don't have any ambitions to go anywhere else yet anymore. I had in the past, but yeah. Okay, Keyframe, what's your answer? Do you deviate at all from the given trend?
You know what? Yeah, I will.
Oh boy, here we go.
I will. I'm gonna kill America. Some things have to remain constant. But I am going to marry the UK.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, the gold digging is coming back. You are just after the crown jewels.
No, she doesn't want the crown jewels. She wants our NHS.
I'm not going to marry into the land of inbred figureheads.
Wow.
You don't need us for that. You've got Alabama.
Hey-o!
But no, I can marry the UK and be like, hey, I'm married. I wouldn't be for the money, it'd be for the bragging right of being like, hey, I am married to the country that brought you the best music of all time.
Ah, true. I forgot that you were a 60s fan.
I am a 60s fan. That was the best fucking time for you people.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to add the caveat of I'm going to take a time machine and marry the 60s UK.
It's a very specific time period.
Probably kills all of the countries at different points in time. And then I'm going to fuck Germany. Because it's fun to say fuck Germany. But also because, I mean, Germany's been fucked over so many times in history, it's probably experience. It got fucked by the French, it got fucked by America, it was fucked by the Russians for a while. And given some of its political climate and the fact it can't make its own national airport, it's fucking itself!
It's very true.
You can't even say that's awkward, because it's kind of funny.
And this makes it awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guys. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guys. It's the awkward. Hard work and analysis which you do not want to